What's going on, everybody? Josh Engleman for Awesemo.com, and I am back with my NFL DFS top fives for week 13 on FanDuel. Now, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you know when everything goes live. Follow me on Twitter at Josh Engleman, and let me know in the comment section who your favorite contenders are for this week. And don't forget now, you guys can go sign up at Jock Market, the presenting sponsor of this video. If you use the promo code Awesemo when you sign up, you get up to $50 on your first deposit. You can't really beat that. We've got the defenses on the screen. The best one is the Dolphins. There's no way I'm talking about defenses, so we're on to the top 5 tight ends. Nothing too crazy going on here, especially for these first two. $5,300 Tyler Higbee is in at number 5, projected for just over 8 fantasy points. Really great matchup against the Jags. No chance of really going for north of 25 fantasy points. 7% chance of being in the optimal lineup. I'm not going to waste a lot of words on Tyler Higbee. Similar story here at 5,800 for Dallas Goedert, 9-point favorites. Similar story for Philly, too, and just like the Rams. Great matchup here against the Jets, but a 7% chance for Dallas Goedert to be in the optimal lineup. I can't be talking about 7% chance guys at tight end. It's just not the same thing. 1, 2, and 3, on the other hand, a little bit different. In first at number 3, we have Foster Moreau. He is 5K, projected for 8.5 fantasy points. Doesn't look like we're going to get Darren Waller here. The Raiders are 1.5-point favorites against Washington. They're the number 18 offense at PFF, going up against the number 10 defense. So not the best, but Moreau is just priced at the bottom here for the role that he is going to absorb. 12.5% chance for Moreau to be in the optimal lineup. Just an excellent pay down value option at the tight end spot. Or you could just pay up a little bit more than that and go to Kyle Pitts, 6,200, projected for almost 12 fantasy points. Atlanta taking on Tampa. Now, it's not a great matchup. They're 10-point dogs, but it is a 50-point total. They are the 14th ranked offense, so it's not like they're ultra bad. It's a terrifying matchup from a defensive standpoint. They are number 3 overall at PFF. But Pitts has a ceiling. 1.5% likelihood to go for more than 25. You don't really need that. 14.5% chance to be in the optimal lineup. I'm loving Pitts here. Pay close attention to the ownership between he and Foster Moreau. It's possible people go to Foster Moreau a little bit too much on FanDuel. And finally, in at number 1, we've got George Kittle, 6,300, projected for 12.5 fantasy points. The Niners are 3.5-point favorites against Seattle, 45.5-point total. They're the number 10 offense, going up against the number 23 ranked defense. A 1.5% chance to go for more than 25. But the floor here is really high for Kittle. 19% chance that he is in the optimal lineup. There just aren't enough other options at tight end on FanDuel to take him out. So George Kittle is the top tight end. Next up at wide receiver, we've got our number 5 guy. That is Justin Jefferson. He is 8K, projected for 15 fantasy points. Minnesota dream spot. They are the number 11 offense at PFF, going up against the dead last ranked Detroit Lions. Minnesota is a 7.5-point favorite against Detroit, 46.5-point total. Jefferson's got a real ceiling. Got a 10% chance to go for more than 25 and a 15% chance to be in the optimal lineup. If you don't think Justin Jefferson is a good option this week, you should not be playing DFS. Next up at number 4, we're going Keenan Allen, 7,300, projected for 14. The Chargers, 3-point dogs against Cincinnati, but almost a 50-point total. Now, the Chargers have the 15th ranked offense, so dead middle of the pack, but they're going up against the number 26 ranked Bengals defense. That is a really nice spot. 6% likelihood to go for more than 25. Not what you need. 15% chance to be in the optimal lineup. You get 20 out of Keenan Allen, you're looking pretty good today. Or on Sunday. You know what I mean. At the top of my sort of second tier, that would be Chris Godwin at number 3, 7,600, projected for 15. The best spot in the world for Tampa here. Number 1 offense, number 31 defense, 10-point favorites in a dome, 50-point total, ceiling, 8% chance to go for more than 25, 16% chance to be in the optimal lineup. I really like getting to Godwin, but there are 2 wide receivers that rank pretty significantly ahead of him this week. The first of which is 9K Cooper Kupp, projected for 19.5 fantasy points. The Rams are 13-point favorites against the Jags, 48-point total. The 3rd worst defense in football against, honestly, oddly enough, a middle-of-the-pack offense. That doesn't matter for Cooper Kupp. The volume here is going to be insane. 27% chance to go for more than 25. 21% chance to be in the optimal lineup, which means you're probably looking for like 27, 28 out of Cooper Kupp, and there's not a person on this planet that would be shocked if Cooper Kupp blew up against the Jags. But we actually close it out at number 1 with Hunter Renfrow, 6,400, projected for 13.5 fantasy points. We've already detailed the Raiders with Foster Moreau, but it's a really nice spot with a really nice total against the Redskins. 4% chance to go for more than 25, 23% chance to be in the optimal. Renfro's just a bit underpriced for his role on this team now. We have no Henry Ruggs. We have no Darren Waller this week. Renfrow is just sort of the new number 1, and he's going to get all the work that he can handle, or at least you expect him to, and I think that looks pretty good in a game with a 50-point total. Running back looking pretty similar to wide receiver in that we've got this tier that gets separated in the top 2 spots. 1 and 2 way ahead of the rest of these guys. But still, we're talking about James Conner at number 5, 7,300, projected for about 16.5 fantasy points. Arizona, the number 6 offense at PFF, taking on Chicago, the number 25 ranked defense. Cardinals are 7.5 point favorites, 42.5 point total, 15% chance for Conner to go for more than 25, 19% chance to be in the optimal lineup. So we're starting to get in that range where you're looking for about 24 or so out of James Conner. He's looked really good this year for the Cardinals when he's been available, and I am more than happy to be getting to Conner. But there are a few options that are pretty significantly better. Or basically equal, like number 4, David Montgomery, who is 6,500 and playing in the exact same game. Projected for 15. Dogs here, though, 7.5 points, in fact. It's the number 23 ranked offense. No surprises. Quarterback play for the Bears hasn't exactly been great. Number 11 ranked defense for the Cards, so good, not great. 9% chance for Montgomery to go for more than 25, but a 19.5% chance to be in the optimal lineup. Just enough to edge out James Conner, but no problem at all getting to both running backs in this game. Boy, oh boy, did he get priced up. Alexander Mattison in at number 3, 8,700, projected for 20 fantasy points. Minnesota, big-time favorites against the Lions, 7.5 points, in fact. We talked about it with Justin Jefferson, but Mattison looks even better. Just so happens that they priced him all the way up. No Dalvin Cook makes it pretty easy to do so when you know it's coming. So 33% chance that he goes for more than 25. And you're going to need it. 22% likelihood to be in the optimal because 8,700, you're looking for 30 here on FanDuel. And given the way that Alexander Mattison is involved in the offense when he plays, I see no reason that 30 isn't on the table. Now we take the big step up in tier and get to number 2, $6,500 Jamal Williams. He is projected for 16 fantasy points. The Lions are pretty big dogs, but the total is nice, 46.5 points. You're not super worried about the Minnesota defense. They are ranked 15th at PFF. The Lions offense could, be a little bit better. 15% chance to go for more than 25 fantasy points for Williams, but a 27% chance to be in the optimal lineup. You don't need 25, and you don't even really need to be all that close. You get 20 out of Jamal Williams at 6,500. That's going to be all you really need at that particular running back spot. That's pretty good. Like, normally, that's going to be your number 1 guy, but not this week. Because that number 1 option is $6,200 Antonio Gibson, projected for 16 fantasy points. The football team's taking on the Raiders. It's a completely neutral matchup with a lot of expected scoring with that 49.5 point total. There's a ceiling here on Gibson, 14% chance to go for more than 25. It's not necessary. 20 is going to get you there. 30% likelihood that Antonio Gibson is in the optimal lineup, making him very clearly my number 1 running back on FanDuel this week. Now, before we get to the quarterbacks, one last reminder to please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you know when everything goes live. Follow me on Twitter at Josh Engleman, and let me know in the comments who your favorite contenders are for this week. And don't sleep on your chance to go to Jock Market, use the promo code Awesemo, get up to $50 on your first deposit. We're rounding out the quarterbacks in a pretty uneventful manner. $7,100 Taylor Heineke is in at number 5, projected for 19, 7% chance to go for more than 25. 9% chance to be in the optimal lineup, which means you know exactly what we're looking for here. About 24 fantasy points. I like Taylor Heineke. It's clearly a stackable game with people from the Washington side, with Moreau, with Hunter Renfrow. So it looks good. I like Heineke, but 9% is not all that much to write home about. Heineke was the first of 3 guys at 9%. The next one is Jalen Hurts, 8K, projected for 21. Now, this is clearly a great matchup on paper for Hurts. Big favorites, solid total, terrible defense. 21% likelihood to go for more than 25 fantasy points, 9% chance to be in the optimal lineup. I mean, Hurts can just score 3 rushing touchdowns and be absolutely essential. But if he doesn't, there's a lot of other quarterbacks that look really similar this week. The final 9%er would be Matt Stafford, 7,800, projected for 21. Rams, cupcake matchup, 13-point favorites, 48-point total. Middle of the pack offense against one of the worst defenses here. Clearly, stacking him up with Cooper Kupp doesn't suck. 17% chance to go for more than 25 for Stafford. You're going to need that at 7,800. 9% chance to be in the optimal lineup. Look, whether it's Stafford, Hurts, or Heineke, they all look pretty similar, and you're getting them in different salary tiers. Now we take a bit of a step up in tier. We get to Lamar Jackson, 8,500, projected for almost 24 fantasy points because he's got a great spot against Pittsburgh. They're 4.5-point favorites. Lamar does basically everything for this team offensively. The Pittsburgh defense ranks 21st. Lamar goes for more than 25, 38% of the time. He's in the optimal lineup 12% of the time. If you get 30 fantasy points out of Lamar, is anybody shocked here? Rivalry matchup against Pittsburgh? I love him. I love the idea of getting to Lamar. Honestly, I think naked Lamar is totally fine in this spot. The problem is this. He's not number one. Because that number one guy is the GOAT. Tom Brady, 8,100, projected for 23 fantasy points. Tampa, the best offense in football, going up against the second worst defense in football. There's a 50-point total, so we're expecting a ton of scoring. He's got infinite options to throw to. Well, one less than infinite right now. What up, Antonio Brown? 32% chance to go for more than 25, 16% chance to be in the optimal lineup. Tom Brady, in his age 600 season, is the number one contender in week 13. Alrighty, folks, that will do it. Those are my NFL DFS top 5s for week 13 on FanDuel. Now, there's a DraftKings version of this video around here. Check it out. Tune in to the First Look show on Sunday at 9 a.m. to watch myself and Adam Scher break everything down. And good luck this weekend. Win some money. We'll talk to you again Sunday morning for another edition of The Contenders.